Mars has been of human interest since its discovery and our ability to track it through the night sky. I remember when I was just a kid, my grandfather pointed out all the constellations to me and told me their stories and meanings. I told my grandfather I wanted to go up there and see the stars for myself, so he put me on his shoulders so that I could be a little bit closer. Now here we are in the year 2019, drawn to the stars now more than ever, with innovators taking over the space race with private innovations and investments, encouraging the young, the brave, and the bold to venture beyond our world into the next. In 1659, Christian Huygens, a Dutch astronomer, drew Mars with the observations he made using the telescope he designed himself. From the discovery of other planets in our solar system to now, mankind has been fascinated with space and the possibility of traveling to other worlds. People commonly compare the potential colonization of Mars to previous colonization in North America by Christopher Columbus. If Christopher Columbus had sailed the ocean blue in 1492 on a 450-ton ship hurtling through space at 25,000 miles an hour with potential space matter scraping his ship from every which way and floating weightlessly among his cabin mates, waiting for the next hazard light to come on like the check engine light in a Volkswagen. And all knowing full well that they were screwed if anything broke out into a flame. I'm sure that Christopher Columbus's journey was just like that. No, this human venture is more dangerous than anything that humans have ever pursued. And it's the most important exploratory / colonization mission that man has ever dreamed of. Mars is a new step for man, and an even greater leap for mankind. And it's not only human accomplishment that man would be chasing, but the dream of a better life and the ability to alleviate some of the pain inflicted on the planet that we all call home. Mars has always been a Plan B planet, however, that was only in theory before. But now the theory could become a reality. The reality is that some 795 million people in the world do not have enough food to lead a healthy and active life. That's 1 in 9 people on Earth. And the vast majority of the world's hungry people live in developing countries where 12.9% of the population is undernourished. Worldwide, about 78 million people do not have access to improved water sources, and an estimated 2.5 billion people lack access to improved sanitation, more than 35% of the world's population. Many scientists believe that Earth's carrying capacity rests between 9 billion and 10 billion people, and we currently are at 7.53 billion people and counting. It would not only be the human race that we attempt to save, but all those creatures that we share the planet with, whose habitats we've destroyed. We could create a sort of utopia on Mars. And this makes colonizing Mars become a moral question as well as a scientific question. Colonizing Mars may be the single most important human project to have ever taken place. I say this because people are constantly wanting to save the world, whether through humanitarian work or donating or paying environmental lobbyists to gain votes and save millions of lives. However, none of that will matter in time if Earth becomes uninhabitable for a number of different reasons. Whether it's 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now or 100,000 years from now. The only civilization known to us will be wiped out from existence, which is why we must become interplanetary. Stephen Hawking also warned that we need to leave Earth in the next 30 years or mankind will die. Hawking suggests the colonization of either the moon or Mars, both as viable sources to begin life anew. However, Robert Zubrin, an aerospace engineer, listed many reasons why Mars would be a better candidate for colonization in his article, The Case for Colonizing Mars. Mars has better natural resources available to it compared to the moon, a stronger atmosphere, ice and permafrost, and more stable conditions to support life. And the reason that is because Earth and Mars fall within the same area and distance away from the sun that would allow life to take place. In conclusion, for hundreds of years, man has brought ideas to new lands and mixed cultures and ideas to create the world that we live in today. However, the world that we live in today is filled with nuclear tension, disease, starvation, hatred, idiocy, and an unwillingness to see what has been dropped at our feet by generations before. Earth is wounded by modern human presence, and in order to help alleviate the pain brought on by mankind, there must be a change. And so far, changing our ways has not helped much. Now is the time for greater action, to move those capable to another home, another world, to change life for the better, to change life as we know it. It's time to colonize Mars. I also don't want to be on this planet anymore.